So just hold it like nice and close, because otherwise you won't get the audio.
Yeah, well, I can't get in his way.
No, I don't listen.
So I'll just chat.
Yeah.
We can cut out whatever.
Just say that you've heard, maybe something.
Yep.
I'm involved in that.
So Al, you're a member, and you. Oh, thanks. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Just keep rolling. So Al, I hear, a lot of people have been affected by different, mandates that have come into the workplace. And through a mutual friend, I got given your contacts and started sharing the story of what's going on. Can you tell us a little bit about what's happening with your employer?
Well, actually, full disclosure, we are actually involved now in a group action of Qantas Group staff, which includes a collection of Jetstar pilots, Qantas pilots, and ground staff, flight attendants, engineers.
Yeah, right.
And we have felt the need to push into court, the right to choose.
Yes.
And which is obviously a fundamental freedom of an Australian, liberal democracy.
Yeah.
So there should be protections there, and we should not have to take our employer to court. Now, we really understand that Qantas Group and many other employers across Australia have been put in a ridiculous position to make choices that they should not have had to make.
Yeah.
And we feel that the mandates that the government have introduced on a state basis may not be lawful.
Right.
And we haven't had a chance to explore that, because some companies have decided to mandate internally at a corporate level.
Yes.
Now we feel that they should have actually done due diligence to see if there was any legal impact on other higher laws in the country that are supposed to exist for our protection of the freedom to choose.
Yep.
So that's basically our position. So that's already been explored in the initial case management hearing in court. I'm named plaintiff along with a few others and your personal friend, Rob. And it's really a terrible situation for people.
Yes.
And it's going to be expensive. And obviously Qantas and the Qantas Group are in a tough position, and we understand that.
Yep.
But the mandates are a step too far.
Yeah.
So we have all been aggressively put through the disciplinary procedure with a view to termination.
Right.
And there's already been at least 50 people that we know of who have been terminated.
50 people?
At least. There's another 50 behind the 20 that are involved in the group.
Right.
That are being processed for termination.
Yep.
And it's all, the accusation is it's gross misconduct.
So just to clarify, as a federal government, our Prime Minister says there is no mandatory vaccination. Our state has come out and said there is within certain industries such as medical, for a doctor, stuff like that, childcare and whatnot. But they've also put the onus back on individual business owners, which is quite odd. So this actual mandate that's been put in place through Qantas didn't come from state or federal government. This is an internal policy.
It is. I think the Qantas Group knew that it was coming.
Yep.
And they felt to do the right thing, that was something that they needed to do. But there are no solutions.
Yeah.
There are always trade-offs.
I think
it's just a trade-off.
I think that's an interesting point, because I don't want to demonise people. I think that a lot of people actually believe that what they're doing is for a greater good.
Absolutely.
And within that, we need to look at history and figure out if we've actually had this discussion again. Because, in my opinion, I feel like we have as a society. We've gone through, at which point are we willing to encroach on someone's freedom? And where does the Human Rights Charter sit on this? And I spoke to lawyers about this as well. And it seems like this is more of a case not of whether or not people should take a medicine or not, but on human rights. Would that be right?
Well, that's our thing, absolutely. And once you get to a situation of an invasive, irreversible medical procedure, now you've stepped a little bit too far, because the freedom of choice is also the freedom to be wrong.
Yes.
And the chances are that somebody who's in authority over you is wrong themselves is pretty high.
Yep.
And that's why something that is so fundamental to breaches of laws has to be explored in the courts, and that's what we're doing right now.
You bring up a good point, because someone actually said to me, and I love the quote, they said, if I wear a mask or a safety vest or work boots or a face shield or a uniform or a tie or something to work, when I finish my shift, I can take all of that off.
Correct.
If I put something into my body, that's it.
Correct.
It's done.
Correct. Absolutely. And that's where we're at. And it's who is making the assertion that something is safe. The burden of proof is upon them.
Yeah.
And as far as work health and safety, the majority of the risks that an airline, for example, has to manage are external risks.
Yeah.
You know, working around aircraft, working around engines, falls from heights, lifting heavy objects, all external.
Yep.
Once you head out into the weeds, into the medical field, where you're injecting medicine, it becomes internal risks, which haven't been evaluated, have not been established, and we should have the freedom to make that choice, and we're not being given that choice. Now, what options does the company have? Well, I get it, they're in a tough place, they've lost billions. We get it, we understand. What they should have done was said to the state government that the mandate as written, sorry, this is going to make us infringe several laws, we'll keep the aircraft parked. That would have fixed it overnight. Because way back in 2020, when Qantas was faced with the shutdown, and they had aircraft parked, and they were looking at getting the aircraft back in the air again, some bright spark in the government said, what we're going to do for safety is to suggest every other seat empty on the aircraft for social distancing. Well, the airlines put a stop to that because they said we've got to be able to operate. We'll keep the aircraft parked. The very next day, that idea was shelved, and now we have aircraft flying around it, occasionally full, with people wearing masks and cleaning the aircraft and all those procedures, which is acceptable. So these mandates could have been stopped in the same way.
Yeah, a lot more critical thinking.
And there was no thinking, and we're now being processed by the company, and we are heading to court, and it has been reported that this is a case of national significance, because a win for this little group of 24 that we're calling the Magnificent 24 will be a win for people in every industry across the nation. So it is significant.
It is.
And that's why we've come to you, and you've graciously said that you will help our social media campaign and our fundraising, and that will actually get us over the line to be able to prosecute this for our defence and for the defence of everyone.
Look, on behalf of myself, I 100% support you and the team. I think it's admirable what you're doing to stand up, and someone needs to do it, because I believe everything you said, there should be a lot more critical thinking. But if people want to get in contact with you or jump behind the cause, how can they do that? You have a website? The website has been done. Down the barrel, right?
The website's been done for us. It's called AussieFreedomFlyers.com, and if you can donate the price of a coffee, we can take this all the way to fight for freedom, just like the UAP party, and we should get this over the line.